Hi there, and welcome to the MPC Sample Academy. In this series of videos, I will walk you through the entire process using MPC Sample. In this first episode, we will cover navigating around the hardware and walking through all the key features. There's also a quick start guide in the box to get you up and running instantly so you can start making your own beats. As soon as you switch on MPC Sample, the factory startup kits and demo projects will automatically load with 8 demo projects and 8 different styles of drum kits across pad banks A to H. Now press the green play button and MPC Sample will start playing some of the factory beats. Now to stop the beat, just press the white stop button. Now if you hit the pads, you can play all the samples and start creating your own beats. Now to listen to some of the other drum kits, hold down the pad bank button, then you can select any one of the 8 preloaded kits. Let's go to the 808 kit. Now let's hold down pad bank and let's select a different drum kit. Here's an electronic kit. Now to record your own beats, press the sequence button. This takes us into our sequencer screen. Using the pads, you can now select sequences. Now any of the pads that are bright yellow already have sequences made. Now you can select an empty sequence by pressing the dimmed lit pads, which are blank sequences. Now once you've selected the sequence, it will pulse in green. Now let's change our tempo by holding our tempo button and using the encoder. Now we're ready to record, hit the sequence record button and play. Now we're putting down our kick and snare idea. Now if you make a mistake, you can press and hold Shift and the undo button to start again. If you decide to keep the part again, press redo. Now with sequence record still armed, we can add more ideas over our beat. Let's add a hi-hat. Now let's add a shaker. Now we've recorded our idea, let's turn off sequence record and hit sample button to go back to our sounds. Now let's hold note repeat, that will repeat our sound in sync. Now to speed it up, use the time divisions at the top of the screen. Note repeat is a great feature, especially for recording your hi-hats. Holding down the erase button and the pad will remove those event notes from your sequence. We're removing our hi-hats. Now let's hold down Shift and undo, and we'll put our hi-hats back in. Now to record a sound of your own voice using a built-in mic, press the record sample button. Now press the pad you wish to record your sound to and speak into the mic. Check 1, check 2. Now press the pad again to end the recording. Now press sample to see our recording, and now we can trim the start and end points to the parts we want to use just by turning the knobs. Check 1, check 2. Now if you hold Shift and pad 13, we can trim the sample, removing the parts we don't need. If you press the tune button, we can now change the pitch of our sample.
Check 1.
Check 1, check 1, check 2.
If we turn warp on, our sample will now be in time.
Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2.
Check 1, check 2.
If we press knob effects, we can add effects like reverb.
Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2.
To load your own samples, the Sample Select button allows you to access the internal factory library or an SD card for your own sounds. Find a sound and then push down onto the encoder and it will load straight to the selected pad. If you change the directory from internal to external, you can now access samples from your own SD card. Now to name and save your samples, hold down Shift and Sample Select. The MPC fader allows you to change the volume of a sample by holding down the pad and moving the fader up and down. If you hold Shift and press pad 9, you can change the fader's controls, which will be displayed on the screen, including everything from panning, tuning to filter cutoff. At the top under Modes, we have our Sample button, which when we hit a pad, will display the sample on the color screen. Here, we can go under Trim, and we can trim the start and end points of our sample. Holding Shift allows us to zoom in for more accuracy. Then we can change to Mix for our levels and panning, and then we have our Envelope. Then we have Tuning, where we can tune our samples. Then we have Mute Groups, Mono and Offset. Then if you hold down Shift, here you can link pads together. And then next to this, you have your filters with all of your classic MPC filter types. Next to this, we have our Sequence button, where we can set up MPC Sample for recording. We can set our bar length, we can set our quantized division, or even add real-time swing. Above this, we have our tempo, then we have our master tempo across all sequences, and then here we can turn our quantize on and off. If you hold Shift, you can change the time signature and adjust the metronome level. At the heart of MPC Sample are the 4 powerful creative effects engines with 60 effects types, which can be applied over your beats in real time using the 3 knobs. Now the first is Pad Effects. This gives us up to 4 effects that we can apply by putting pressure on the pads. If you press the latch button, it will lock the effect over your beat to the pad. You can also edit the effects using the knobs. Next we have Flex Beat. If you hold down Shift and press the Pad Effects button, the pads go purple. Now we have a pattern-based effects engine. This has everything from stutters, tape stops. You can adjust the mix amount of the effect. And to change the effect type, just strike the pad. Then you have Knob Effects. This is where you can apply a plugin across your whole track, and you have 28 different effects types to choose from. And you can apply this effect to all pads or to individual pads. We have everything here from filters, bus compressors and limiters, through to reverbs, to vintage MPC emulations, to vinyl and tape. Our final effect is our brand new color compressor. This adds color, vintage feel, and depth and punch over your beats. The more amount we add, the more punch and bite we have to our drums. We can also resample back to a pad with effects on. As an example, I'm going to take this beat that has vintage effects and we're going to resample this back to a pad. So we hold down Shift, press pad 11, which is resample, and press the pad. It's now resampling with the effects on. This means that you can now change your effects and use them on something else. MPC Sample's Chop Mode automatically chops samples across the pads with one touch, offering 5 different chop types, including transients, 4 regions, 8 regions, 16 regions, and manual chopping. We can go into each chop and manually change the start and end position of our chop. If you hold down Shift, we can zoom straight in to the start and end position, so you can get the perfect chop every time. Now to go back to the original sample, just press the chop button again. Now to loop samples, just turn on the loop button, and now press the sample. Now the sample will loop automatically. Holding Shift, you can reverse the loop. It's also great using chop for melodic samples, creating your own melodies. You also have 16 levels button that allows you to use the 16 pads to spread the pitch of a sample chromatically. If you hold down Shift, you can change the different 16 level types, from velocity to opening up your filter. We also have a mute button that allows you to mute the pads within your sequence, so you can create inspiring arrangements. Then you have Note On, which changes how a sample is triggered on the pad. If you hold the pad down, it will continually play the sample until you take your finger off the pad. The pads also have secondary functions by holding down Shift. Here you have everything from full levels through to quantize on and off to enter in song mode, where we can chain our sequences together by entering different parts to create your own song arrangement. MPC Sample has powerful sampling capabilities, allowing you to resample internally with and without effects, sample inputs, through to sample recall, so you never ever miss an idea that you're playing on the pads. Now I want to sample this beat, and we're going to add some effects to this beat. So we're going to turn them on, and now we're going to resample this back to a pad. You hold down Shift, hit resample, and select the pad, and now it's rendered the sample with effects. To sample, simply hit sample record and now select your input source from the microphone, rear inputs to USB and resampling. We also have sample recall, which is continually recording in the background. So if I play a melody, I can recall this as a sample, hit Shift, sample recall, and it now puts it to a pad. There's what I played. You can now edit this, chop the sample up, add effects, and add it over your beat. You also have a micro SD card slot, which allows you to load and save samples and projects. You can also mount the card to your PC and Mac to move projects and samples. To increase or lower the volume, you have a dedicated volume knob. Below this, you can see the rechargeable battery indicator. When fully charged, the indicator will be green. When amber, you have 30% remaining. And when flashing red, you need to recharge MPC Sample using the supplied USB-C cable. You also have a built-in speaker, which is perfect for on-the-go beat making. And on the rear, you can access all of your inputs and outputs to MPC Sample. Make sure you update your MPC Sample to the latest firmware by following the address below. You can either use a smart device or your desktop computer by plugging in the USB cable provided. This will automatically update your MPC Sample. Now thanks for watching. To learn more, head over to the MPC Sample Academy.